Here's more wrestling news for November 26, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include: Paul Heyman shares Roman Reigns' next goal, Charlotte Flair backstage after Becky Lynch match at WWE Survivor Series, current WWE champion says Braun Breaker blew his mind in WWE NXT 2.0, current AEW wrestler says he went back to WWE because he owed it to them, WWE losing Japanese television contract for Raw and SmackDown, Rob Van Dam felt horrible about Triple H incident at Survivor Series 2002, Undertaker wants to help Omos become another Andre the Giant, Ryback opened a WWE return on one condition, and more. We are starting today with the Universal Champion Roman Reigns, who picked up yet another huge win at Survivor Series, defeating WWE Champion Big E. Reigns' run as the top name in the company shows no signs of slowing down, but fans have been wondering what's next for the Tribal Chief. Sitting down with Sports Illustrated, Paul Heyman spoke about Reigns' future and said it's simply to keep being better than he was the previous week. Heyman added that Reigns continues to set a pace and achieve levels no one else in WWE ever has or ever will achieve, in a glowing endorsement of the Universal Champion. Today marks day 453 of Reigns' outstanding tenure with the title, and though a rematch with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania seems inevitable, Reigns will continue to keep improving until his showdown with the Beast this April. At Survivor Series, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch kicked off the show with a war, which came after weeks of reports that their friendship was irreparably damaged. Weeks prior, the two had a backstage altercation during the October 22nd SmackDown, but now a new photo may throw serious doubts on some of the most salacious reports. On WWE.com, the company released 74 behind-the-scenes photos from Survivor Series, with the most interesting being of Flair, who was all smiles post-match. Fans quickly speculated that her expression confirms that the backstage issues with Lynch were overblown in order to progress their storyline. Given that Lynch broke down in tears in an emotional post-match interview, it's hard to say what the situation between the two champions is, but it's not as clear-cut as initially believed. Since NXT relaunched into NXT 2.0, few superstars have made waves like Braun Breaker, who has been quickly thrust into the NXT title picture. Breaker, who isn't relying on his Steiner family name, has impressed both fans and those backstage, and has also impressed the top name on Monday Night Raw. In an interview with the Illuminati, WWE Champion Big E showered praise on Breaker, saying it blew his mind when he learned Braun has been training for just 7 months. We'll have to see how long it takes for Braun Breaker to make it to the top of NXT 2.0, but he's off to a great start, and perhaps a Breaker-Big E match could happen in the coming years. Now, at WrestleMania, the Hardy Boys made their return to WWE in one of the biggest crowd pops in recent history. Their return marked Jeff's first WWE match since 2009, while Matt had stayed with the company until 2011 before leaving. On the AEW Unrestricted podcast this week, Matt discussed his departure from WWE, saying when he left, he wasn't in a good place, and felt like he owed it to WWE to leave on a good note, hence his 2017 return. He added, "I wanted to go back because I do owe all those guys. I have a great appreciation for WWE, Vince McMahon, and all those people because I wouldn't be who I am without them." Comparing WWE to AEW, Hardy praised Tony Khan for being incredibly respectful and said he's found the promotion's treatment of older wrestlers to be much better than WWE. Hardy has certainly been used on AEW TV far more than he was being used during his last years with WWE, but despite being in a different promotion, the former US champion is still grateful for the company that first made him a star. In September, WWE disbanded their Japanese division, a move that took many people by surprise and led to over 100 employees losing their jobs. At the time, it was reported that WWE is taking less of a focus on Japan and will be spending more efforts with their American brand NXT rather than the previously announced NXT Japan, and now the Asian nation has lost out even more. That's according to J Sports, who report that the broadcasts of both Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown will end in Japan this year, and video-on-demand content of WWE programming will end in January next year. It wasn't too long ago that WWE were all in with plans for Japan, including a proposed crossover with New Japan Pro Wrestling that never amounted to anything, but despite the country being steeped in wrestling history, WWE aren't interested in Japan for the time being. We are going back to 2002 now, as that year Eric Bischoff unveiled the Elimination Chamber, promising pain for all 6 participants. That promise certainly came true, as Triple H suffered a stiff kick to the neck by Rob Van Dam, but one RVD didn't mean to give. On the latest episode of the Ruthless Aggression documentary, RVD recalled a memorable spot where he delivered a 5-star frog splash to the game from the top of a pod. Unfortunately for Triple H, RVD overshot a little, and his skin came right across the throat of the game, and in the doc, Van Dam said he felt horrible about what had happened. Triple H also discussed the spot, saying that as he was laid down, he knew something bad would happen, as he saw RVD couldn't stand upright on the pod. The game added that for the rest of the match, he'd struggle to take a breath whenever he took a bump, showing just how dangerous the Elimination Chamber can truly be. This year, WWE's Omos has made quite the impression on Raw, winning his first main roster match at WrestleMania to capture the Raw Tag Team titles. At Survivor Series, AJ Styles' personal Colossus won the 25-man dual-branded Battle Royal, impressing a lot of people both in the crowd and the company. Speaking on WWE's The Bump, The Undertaker discussed the former Raw Tag Team Champion and compared Omos to Andre the Giant, saying that the Raw Superstar is incredibly special. At Survivor Series, Omos eliminated a dozen men to win in what was an incredible feat, and with these huge props from one of the greatest ever, the future is bright for the former college basketball star. Do you agree with the Phenom? How far do you see Omos' career going? Let us know in the comments. During this week's Raw, Seth Rollins was attacked by a fan who believed the former Universal Champion had scammed him out of thousands of dollars. Rollins didn't scam Eliza Spencer, but it was someone who posed as the Raw Superstar online, and we now know more about what caused the 24-year-old to attack this week. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that Spencer's beef with Rollins wasn't just because of the $3,000 he lost to the scammer, but that this con also affected Spencer's girlfriend. He said, "The scammer asked Spencer to write a bunch of checks, like $3,000 worth of checks and things like that. So apparently, he told his girlfriend to write a check for $3,000 and the check bounced because she didn't have the funds, so she got arrested for writing a fraudulent check, which he blames on Seth Rollins." For what it's worth, Spencer has apologized for his actions and said he won't attack Seth Rollins if he sees him again, but with WWE prosecuting to the fullest extent of the law, Spencer may not have another chance to be in the same building as the former Universal Champion. We've got some great news to report next, as Mustafa Ali and his wife have become parents for the 3rd time. On social media, Ali shared a picture with his baby daughter, saying they named her Dua, which is Arabic for blessing, because he and his wife prayed really hard for her. In addition to Dua, Ali and his wife Uzma have another daughter and a son, and we'd like to congratulate the proud parents on this latest addition to their family. When Ryback left WWE in 2016, the former superstar made it clear he didn't want to come back and has bashed the company routinely since then. Once referring to Vince McMahon as a pimp and saying WWE is illegally suppressing his Twitter accounts, Ryback has only had a handful of matches over the past 5 years, but could be donning his singlet once more. Speaking on his own YouTube channel, the big guy said he is very open to going back to WWE, but only if the company is bought and owned by someone other than Vince McMahon. The rumors of McMahon selling have persisted for the past year, but WWE President Nick Khan told BT Sport in August that while the chairman is open to new business opportunities, he's not trying to sell the company. After a series of polls earlier this year in which fans told Ryback to retire, the big guy finally got a result that told him to return to WWE, but that'll only happen once Vince McMahon isn't around. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.